I'm back! Finally gonna talk about Blitz, which, funnily enough, I never really planned on doing, mostly because his design made sense and his story was vague enough to keep up with everything going on in his life, but so much of Season 2 has kind of made me second guess a lot of Blitz's design and character. Like, it's been well established that Blitz is trying to distance himself from his clown past for the obvious reason he wasn't good at it, and blew up his friend and killed his mother.
Allegedly.
So, why is his man suit clowncore? Like, the puffs on his jacket, his shirt being what I can only assume is striped, because the shirt he wore at Ozzie's is not the same shirt. I checked, and their collars are different, though it doesn't help it's the same color and the stripes on the same place, but whatever. Plus, his arm glove thingies, I'm not entirely sure what the design on the top is, and I tried to look at the pitch bible and concept art notes Viv made years ago, but yeah, nothing was made clear on what the design is or based around. Like, in my first watch, aka the pilot, I thought they could be bells, but that doesn't seem right anymore. Plus, they're very clearly embedded into the glove, so it's like, what are they? What is their purpose? What do they do? Is it just to have an upside down cross? Is that it? Like, I would very much like to know. Anyway, finally his suit's shoulder pads. Sometimes, depending on who's drawing Blitz, the shoulder pads are pointed, but they are actually round, which is kind of similar to Fizzaroli's style. Like, it's all the small stuff that hints to his clown past, which is fine if he's not realizing he's doing that. But for a character like Blitz, who likes to avoid as much as possible, it's a little weird for him to have so much clown-coded stuff on. Plus, I mean, he really hates when anyone points out his clown past, to the point he dropped the O in his name. I'm still not 100% convinced the O is silent. I mean, his dad says BlitzØ, and Blitz himself once said the O is silent now. So yeah, the fact that he goes that hard to distance himself from his clown past makes me confused on why his outfit is so clown-coded. Like, yeah, it's more of like a ringleader slash clown slash goth slash I'm trying on my dad's suit. You know, like, there's some elements in there that aren't clown-based, but still. And then it's not even just his outfit. His office is covered in old posters of his time at the circus, so clients are gonna know what his past was just by looking at the wall. And to be honest, I think this is part of the reason Blitz's character bugs me so much. Like, he's told his employees, who he's obsessed with, nothing about his past. Obviously, he doesn't have to, but it's just like, there's so much stuff in the office, you can't not just look at it and go, oh, well, I'm not gonna ask my boss about it. Like, because there's a poster of Blitz and Barbie in the conference room, yet no one asked about it. And I know she was in her human disguise when Moxie saw her, but Blitz said he was looking for his sister and even said her name when he kicked the door down, and she said his name back. So how did Moxie not get that that's Blitz's sister? Like, that's the whole reason he was even there. Anyway, I just went completely off topic. Blitz's character is kind of all over the place, and I think it's mostly because the show is speed running basically everything. Like, with Blitz's past, it feels like they couldn't get to Fizz fast enough. I mean, I feel Verosika and Barbie should have gotten more time when it came to their relationship with Blitz. It would have given us more reasons to know how far Blitz has fallen after what happened with Fizz and his mom, because it's hard to see Blitz in that gray area sometimes when stuff ends in his favor, or people just let what he does slide. But anyway, he does have a lot of good moments, and seems to be learning how to deal better due to Moxie and Millie's influence. Not entirely sure what Stolas is bringing to the table here. Seeing as how they don't hang out, they don't text, they don't call, they only meet up once a month, I will explain the main issue with BlitzØ and Stolas in the rewrite. Like, Jesus Christ, I did so much math. But anyway, he's kind of ignoring what Barbie wants in favor of what he wants, but their interaction is so brief, you don't get to sit with the knowledge that Blitz still hasn't learned he can't just walk into someone's life who clearly didn't want him to. And though we still don't know what happened when Verosika and Blitz were dating, he was extremely mean to her. I mean, he's always kind of mean to everyone, but Verosika had a right to be upset. Yet he either didn't care or is trying to ignore how bad he feels about what happened, and we'll probably never know. I know we have an episode coming that says apology tour, so maybe Blitz will apologize to her, but I'm not holding my breath because a part of me thinks the episode is just going to be an apology speed run and will hold zero weight to the situations Blitz has put himself in. And though I understand the fire was not his fault, I really did not like how Blitz reacted to Fizz saying to Fizz, "You don't know what I lost," but like, I'm pretty sure Fizz knows what you lost. But again, Blitz is pretty much implying he had it worse, which I mean, you can't really compare the two, but it's like, there's a bit of a difference. But if you compare Blitz and Fizz's injuries, I think Fizz kind of wins in this situation. It's so complicated, right? It's very complicated, but it's just like, I personally feel Fizz had the worst of it. Obviously, he has a great life now, but that doesn't make up for all the years of, physical therapy and healing and like, all the mental scarring he's gonna have for the rest of his life. It's like, it's just one of those, like, you can't compare the two, especially in front of the person that you're comparing it to. It's just kind of rude. But you know what? I just hope someone points that out to Blitz, that he's doing that, because eventually he'll be right back to where he started. Trust me, I've had a few Blitzes in my life, and I could recognize they were trying. Yeah, but sometimes trying isn't enough. Let's get into the design. This intro is getting long. Okay, before I get into BlitzØ's outfit, I wanted to talk about his scars, and I know a lot of what I'm going to talk about is going to make you all go, "But what about Fizz? You didn't do that for him." Well, I wanted to, but with his connection to Ozzie and Maman, I figured Fizz's eyes could get replaced with new ones, hinting to Maman's connections to Leviathan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please check out my Leviathan video, it's in the description. But also, after seeing the explosion and seeing how Fizz's arms melted away, I'm surprised his face stayed in such great condition. So for the possible rewrite, I might just have Fizz wear an Ozzie crystal to hide his face's deeper scars. And speaking of deeper scars, because Blitz wasn't as close to the blast as Fizz was, his scarring isn't as bad or as deep, but his eye and mouth got the worst of it. I mean, the flashback shows him holding his eye and not opening it. So yeah, I made Blitz's eye more squinted and even made his pupil a little off-colored to show that he probably has some vision issues, which this version of impairment is due to ocular burn, seeing as Blitz had his eye open the whole time. So yeah, IRL vision impaired people do not always have the milky glossy eye. It's only due to certain situations, so I highly recommend researching all that you can before making a blind character. But anyway, I also made the side of his mouth a bit more wonky. Obviously, trying to depict burn scars with VivziePop style is a bit harder, since when you're burned and your skin heals, it shrinks. So I did the best I could with this style. As for Blitz's scars, they're kind of weird. His OG scars look too perfectly round, and due to how Blitz got his burns, it's more likely that his scar would be a more star shape. If I could go into full detail on like how burns actually work, we would be here all day, but normally like a fire burn is more star patterned. So yeah, I reworked his star to look less like someone painted it and more like what it would actually look like. I know it's a lot more line work, and that's probably why his OG scars are so rounded, but scar patterns are important, and there are simple ways to do it. I mean, look at Two-Face. Heck, even look at Todoroki. His burn scar isn't perfectly round either, unlike somebody else we know. I'll never understand why they simplified his scar so much when they went all out for Aang's scar. Like, it'll always bug me to the end of time. Okay, last thing, then we'll get into the outfit. Okay, so Blitz's scar placement has always bothered me. Mostly his hands, because he's not wearing gloves during the explosion, so the pattern doesn't make much sense. Like they make a perfect glove pattern and is on the underside of his hand as well, but like the way BlitzØ is facing the fire, he wouldn't have gotten that badly burnt on the underside of his hand. I mean, he could have, like, maybe the side of his hand where his thumb is, but, like, the rest of his hand, no. It probably just would have been his thumb and pointer finger and a little bit of the top part of his hand. But for the scars to be identical, it's not realistic. That's not how that would have happened. Like, he mostly would have been burnt on the side facing the fire. So, like, his whole arm and, like, half his face along with his leg and, like, chest area. But with the way that his arm is positioned, it probably wouldn't have touched his chest or lower stomach that much. So, you know, it just really depends on, like, how much blocking there is. Plus, the scar would be all together and not broken up the way they have it. And seeing as how Blitz probably has third-degree burns, like, all the scars would be connected to each other, where there wouldn't be, like, a patch here and a patch there. Like, it would all be together unless, like, there was blocking going on or if something was protecting him at the time, but it doesn't look like much was protecting him. So, yeah. Oh, also the base of his tail for sure would have been burned, but anything on the other side of him wouldn't be burned, which they did do, except for the hand, which again is just weird. But anything on the other side wouldn't have been from the fire per se. Like, some of them are obviously from possible jobs. So yeah, for the redesign, I put his burn scar on one side. As for the other scars, they're from the shotgun blast from episode 1. And the one on his legs I forgot about, sorry. Okay, scar info dump over. Let's get into his outfit. Okay, I know I said I'd talk about the outfit, but I feel I should explain why BlitzØ now has dark arms and black fingertips and white eyes. So I have been thinking a lot about the evolution imps, well, specifically the wrath imps and the greed imps, and how they don't look that much different from each other, and it kind of bugs me a bit since the greed imps should have adapted to mimic the ring they live in, yet no one's got skeleton features or more dinosaur features. So I kind of redesigned BlitzØ's dad to mimic a greed citizen more and added more lore, which I will get into for Moxie's video, but the fingers and extra spines are Blitz's dad's greed side, and as for his mother's side, I'm fully committed to the theory she's a succubus imp. We have 2 pics of her with her horns showing, and they're fully black. Not to mention she's very tall, which is where I'm pretty sure Blitz and Barbie get their height from, but we also know that succubus imps are taller. So I made Blitz more pinker and made the yellows of his eyes softer and gave him white eyes. I kind of want to make lust imps have white eyes instead of red as a bigger nod that Blitz is in fact mixed, because I'll probably make a video on the citizens and the imp versions of those citizens, and I already have a few of my notes done and I pretty much made the succubus have white eyes. But yeah, I'll do a deeper dive on it soon. Anyway, for Blitz's outfit, I kind of relaxed his style a bit more. Mostly because I like the idea that his OG outfit is him overcompensating with trying to look more like the ideal boss, but based on a lot of Blitz's past and current street clothes, he's very much still in his teen goth era, which is fine. I mean, I revert back a lot too, plus I'm sure with Luna having a similar style also keeps him up to date and makes him want to match her, kind of like when little kids want to dress up as their parent, but in reverse. Because I mean, it's Blitz. He's so weird when it comes to Luna. Like, I often wonder why that is, and if he's just subconsciously using Luna to play happy family, or if it's like a Dr. Doofenshmirtz thing where he's overdoing it to make sure Luna has the best childhood, or what's left of it. Anyway, yeah, I like to think he gets tired of wearing the suit, as it's not really him, plus the clown details bother him, and wants to look more like the assassin he is, so instead of his undershirt being red, I just gave him a black turtleneck similar to Millie's, as I like to think they start matching up more due to Millie being Blitz's favorite employee. And as you can see, I was gonna give him the imp logo belt, but making the belt part black wasn't gonna work with his shirt, so I had the best idea to put the logo on the back of his jacket. I am gonna do some edits where you'll be able to see it, because unfortunately I forgot my charger for my sketchpad, so I can't show what it looks like right now. Anyway, for his jacket, I kept the overall silhouette. I just made the collar, and I honestly can't remember the name of it, but think like Sasuke's shirt collar. I added knife bands to his arm and pointed his shoulder pads, but to keep with some of the clown theming, as I really like the idea he's doing it subconsciously. But the kicker here is the double puffballs are a nod to Fizz, as that was his costume style, and it's a fun way to hint that Fizz is always on Blitz's mind, even when he doesn't want him to be. And as for his shoes, I get there's supposed to be hints to cowboy boots and a nod to Blitz's love of horses, but they don't really work. Like, it's honestly giving red boot energy, and I just can't. So I just rounded the edges and added puffballs. But can we just talk about BlitzØ's feet for a second? So far, he's the only imp I've seen with this foot shape. Like, why is it heel-shaped? They did this with Octavia, and I can't help but feel it was to have a see, Stolas and Blitz are meant to be together. Look at Octavia's feet, they're the same as Blitz's moment. But, you know, like, it's just so weird. But anyway, I know Blitz's outfit is kind of plain now, but I was going for more of a Matrix vibe along with Blitz trying to hide his scars. Hence why one hand has a glove on it, but I feel a lot of Blitz's personality and character lies with his face. Like, half his face is burnt, he has a heart tattoo that anyone from his circus would recognize, and now has more succubus features that would make anyone curious. Like, Blitz's overall body design is what I find the most fascinating. His outfit is just pretty simplistic, you know, it's the same suit style, but like with small clown elements, but that's not really the point of Blitz's whole thing. Like, his whole background isn't that he was a clown. He's like a very interesting character just by his body alone. Anyway, for the pants, I just kept what he was already wearing and changed the color. And speaking of color, I mostly muted everything except Tilla's necklace. I know I could have kept it red, but with it being a skull and Blitz using a white band, I figured, why not? Plus, it stands out more against his outfit and skin now, and doesn't have to fight with the 2 red puff buttons, you know? Because at first, that's what I thought it was a third puff button, but I was wrong. Anyway, that's about it. Oh, I did chip his horn. Not sure if it's from the fire or if he did it to himself. Still deciding. And the tip of his tail is now shaped like a succubus imp's tail with the added black heart tip. I'll explain more about the claws and darker skin for Moxie's video. But yeah, this was fun, though I think I had more fun with the scar part of Blitzo's design. Also, weird side tangent, just to get it out there in the open. As much as I do want to talk about Blitz and Stolas' relationship in this video, I feel I will be giving too much away for the rewrite videos, and I really don't want to spoil anything because it's so much. Like, their overall relationship journey, I have kind of completely rewritten because there's a lot going on in their current story right now where I'm like, this doesn't add up, this doesn't make sense. Plus the added, like, how much time they spend together, which I will go into detail in the rewrite video, but I'm just gonna say it now. They do not spend enough time together to develop feelings the way that they have. Trust me, it's not enough, and it makes me think that they're just infatuated with each other. They're not actually deeply, truly in love, similar to how Moxie and Millie are. Like, what they have going on is just kind of fake. It feels fake to me, you know? It feels like those people who get married after knowing each other for a week and then get divorced because they're like, I can't believe I didn't know these things about my partner. Well, yeah, you married them within the first week of knowing them. You don't know anything about them. And that's what it feels like to watch Stolas and BlitzØ on screen, because it just feels like they don't know each other enough to act the way that they're acting, you know? But I will explain more in the rewrite video because there's just a lot to go through. Anyway, next video will be whoever I feel like talking about because I have zero idea on what I should talk about. I'll make a list and maybe you guys can vote. But anyway, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!